now move on to our talks for this evening. So today's first presentation is brought to you by Aruna Acharya on the topic of unlocking magic of currency exchange, predicting rates with machine learning. Aruna Acharya is a junior software engineer with a bachelor's degree in information technology. She has a strong interest in the field of data science and its potential to uncover valuable insights. In this session, Aruna will introduce the Currency Rate Identifier, a tool designed which not only provides real-time exchange rate updates, reliable data, and customization options, but also opens doors to innovation in various fields, changing the way we think about currency exchange data. Aruna will also explain why accurate exchange rate information matters in today's global economy, exploring the intersection between data science and financial expertise. Can I please get a round of applause for Aruna as she comes up to do her talk?
Thank you for the lovely introduction. How are you doing all? Just a second while I set my laptop. I'm sorry. I don't think the Wi-Fi is working here. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming in today. I hope you all had a great day. Pizza smelled really good outside. I hope you all enjoyed it. My name is Aruna Acharya. I'll be your speaker tonight, and I will be talking a few things about predicting currency rates using machine learning. So without further ado, let's get into it. Short intro about me. I'm a junior software engineer at Blue Zebra Insurance. And like everyone else in this room, I'm also a data science and machine learning enthusiast, and I do some projects in my free time. If you guys want to connect with me in LinkedIn, you can scan the QR code in the screen. And just while you're scanning at it, just a bit of backstory about my project. I'll start with a quick question. How many of you guys have done foreign currency-based transactions in your life? Okay, wow, I see a pretty good number. I hope you all can relate with me. Being an immigrant, I often like to send money back home to my country in Nepal. And I also do some online shopping and visit overseas sometime. And during that, my currency rates play a very big role in making my financial decisions. I would always want to get the best value out of my currency. But the problem is it is so fluctuating, you never know when it is going up or when it's going down, and you really cannot decide when is the good time to do the transaction that you want to do. Basically, that was the reason why I started this project, a quite selfish reason, but yeah. But the prospect of this project is not just limited to sending money or doing some online shopping. You can actually use this in making financial decisions in trading companies. I think it will be a great tool for to make financial decisions. Yeah. So today's agenda, I will be talking basic about what's machine learning, and an introduction about my app, Australian dollars to Nepalese rupees currency prediction, and I'll show some data analysis and model training and evaluation results, and lastly, app demonstration. So first off, what is machine learning? I think everyone here is aware of what is machine learning, so I will talk briefly about what is machine learning. In a simple word, It's just like giving your computers the ability to learn and perform better on its own. Without explicitly programming each and everything, we will just provide it with a significant amount of data, and with the help of that, our machine learning model will be able to find patterns and give predictions. So yeah, basically that's all what machine learning is. It's some use cases. Number one, ChatGPT. I think everyone here knows, everyone here uses it, and it's an amazing tool for everyone. It uses significant amount of data from various sources and uses natural language processing to give human-like response. Next is job recommendation in LinkedIn based on user profiles. If anyone here looking for a job, then you know your job recommendation is exactly what you want. And if you have never wondered why am I not getting like the job that I want, it's because your user profiles act as a data, and using that data, machine learning model will be able to predict the job that you're looking for. And it's mostly correct, I guess. Next one is YouTube, TikTok, Instagram recommendations, content recommendation based on user history. So have you ever wondered why do you see all those really good contents in your Instagram and TikTok and you can just never get off of your phone? Well, that's machine learning, and in many ways you are providing a data to it. Maybe you like the video or comment it or interact with it, or simply you just watch it. And those all interactions act as a data, and using that, a model will be able to predict, and which you see in the screen. And I think it is working pretty well. Sometimes I am on my phone watching TikTok for hours, and it's just so addictive. And next is currency or stock rate predictions, which is also similar to my app. Using historical time series data, a model will be able to predict future rates for stocks or currency. So talking about my app, a brief intro about it. It's a very simple app that predicts future rates for Australian dollars to Nepalese rupees. I have utilized more than 20 years of data from Central Bank of Nepal to train my model, and I'll show you my prediction shortly. Here's a workflow of how things are working in here. I have used this API from Central Bank of Nepal. It's a pretty handy API, and you can get all range of data that you want from this. You can check it out later, and you can also export as CSV file as well, which I use to train my model. Next step is data pre-processing. Obviously, you will not get a really clean set of data that you can just start working on, so you will need to pre-process it so that your machine learning model can work better. Next one is storage. For storage purpose, I use PostgreSQL, and after that, data analysis, model training, predicting, deployment using Streamlit app. Very simple. Okay, this is what the data analysis look like. I mean, in x-axis we have dates, and y-axis we have rates. So this actually, the data analysis that you're looking here is not good for Nepal, but I'm not going to go into any political reasons here. Just the type of data, this one is very non-stationary, and it has a lot of trends. Yeah, that's all. And this one's compared to Australian dollars versus Nepalese rupees. As usual, it's a non-stationary data. It started from 40 and now it's at 90 or so. Yeah, there could be a lot of reasons for that as well. And based on the time series data, I went for ARIMA model, which is autoregressive integrated moving average model, which is previously trained in time series data. And it is combination of 3 different models: autoregression P, differencing D, and moving average Q. If you want to check the GitHub link, I have mentioned it below. And what's autoregressive P? In a simple word, it It just means that the previous values of time series data the current value of time series depends upon the previous lagged values. And if you're providing the parameters p is equals to 2, then that means you're using previous 2 days of value to predict the current rate. Next one, we have differencing D. If your data is non-stationary, if it has a lot of trends, a RIMA model will not work really great with that, so you have to make it stationary, and for that you have to do differencing. So how do you do differencing? You just subtract the current value with the preceding value. And if your D is equals to 1, then that means you are differencing it with 1 degree, and 2 is so on until your data gets stationary. Next, we have moving average Q. It means that it means that the error terms in the lagged model, if Q is equals to 1 in your data, then you're using lag of 1 model to predict your current values. And this is the parameter that I use to train my model. P is equals to 1, D is equals to 1, and Q is equals to 2. There are several reasons for that. One is why the differencing is 1 is because my data is a non-stationary data, and I have to make it stationary. And P is equals to 1, it uses previous 1 value to predict the current value, and Q is equals to 2. It uses past 2 value, average of past 2 value to predict the current values. And then we have accuracy check. I used mean squared error to check the accuracy, and it was 0.25%, which means the model is working quite well. The farther it is from 0, your model is, I would consider, bad. So this one's pretty good, I would say. Next, we have prediction. So far, this is what the prediction look like. Actual data is in blue color, and our prediction is in red, which is almost overlapped. So it is pretty accurate, whatever the prediction that the model is giving right now. And then a little demo I have here, which I did yesterday. So as you can see, for today, 8th of February, the predicted rate is 86.3. For $1 Australian, it's 86.3 rupees. And I think today it's 86.3 as well. So I would say the prediction of this model is pretty good. But for live demo, wait a minute. You can also scan the QR code to access the app, but before you scan, I'll just open it. So for next day, it's also 86.3 rupees. And we can also check for future dates as well. It might not be very accurate, but it still gives prediction. This model needs to be updated in daily basis because it is only using previous 1 value to predict the current value. So yes, I think that is all. That was quite short. Thank you so much for listening to me. And thank you so much for Geshen to giving me this opportunity to speak in front of you all today. I hope you learned something from this presentation. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Thank you so much, Aruna. So we do have some time for a few questions, and I saw a few hands up, so I'll start passing around the mic. And yeah.
If the model is pretty good, why don't you simply foreign exchange trade and tell Google that you don't want the job anymore, and just retire as the next Warren Buffett of Nepal or Sydney?
Sorry, what was that again? I think I missed you.
Did you follow my question?
No.
Okay.
you
If this
repeat?
model is fairly good,
Mm-hmm.
why don't you simply foreign exchange trade? So rather than just use it to predict sending money back to Kathmandu, use it to predict the US dollar against the Japanese yen or the British pound against the euro, and then start foreign currency trading and making big money. So you become Warren Buffett, by the way, is the world's most famous investor. So become the Warren Buffett of Kathmandu, which is a place in Nepal, or Sydney, and then you can tell Google, oh, I don't want your lousy job anymore.
I really like your analogy, but at the moment, this model only predicts rates for Nepalese Australian dollars to Nepalese rupees. It cannot predict for USD to any other countries like that. We have to do a different training for that, so I don't think I can be Warren Buffett just yet. Next question.
Yeah, thanks. That was really cool. What are some of the limitations that you see in the approach, and how would you improve that?
Limitations as in?
So, for example, you just look at the historical exchange data.
Yes.
As an example. I guess one of the risks in just using a historical data that's, I guess, just unifactorial is we might miss out significant macroeconomical factors, right? So, for example, the Reserve Bank lifting the cash rate would likely impact the exchange rate. But if we don't factor that into the model, what's the risk, I guess, or what are some of the limitations? And how would you improve that?
I'm sorry, but I don't think I have think that far yet. So I don't really have an answer to that question.
All good. Thank you.
So I've been a foreign exchange trader at different banks, and I know this market very well. I don't want to ask you anything difficult. I just want to ask you a simple question.
Thank you.
How often did you retrain your model? So, for example, once every month, once every week, or once every 3 months?
Basically, whenever I get a chance, I do have this button here that I can't show it right now, but I do have a button in my app which I can just use to train the model with the latest data. So let's say I'm using this app for after a month, then before I just start predicting rates, I would update my model, and after that, it will give some predictions. So there's no like time limit that I've set to train my model, but whenever I can.
And before you go ahead and trade your own money,
Yeah.
I would just recommend you to read a paper by Man Group, Man AHL,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
that they basically publish a paper that is there any more alpha prediction power left for currencies? And these guys are usually having hundreds of quants as employees with tons of data. And that could be a good way also.
I think so. Thank you. Thank you for this.
Okay, the last one.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was watching a presentation with lots of interest. Could you tell me, did you use also the Nepalese interest rates in your model?
So currently my model only feature in my data is just date. There are no any other features. So just purely based on dates, all these predictions are given.
Right. I had experience with trading Turkish lira against US dollar, and it was a similar trajectory. That means Turkish lira was just sliding down, but as a compensation, there was a very high interest rate in Turkish lira, like sort of up to 20%. So is Nepalese currency has got high interest rate at the moment if you go to the bank and...
I'm sorry, but
No?
I have
Okay.
no idea about all this.
No, that's fine. Because, I mean, interest rates are very important
Right.
part of equation.
I think right
here.
now it's 15%. So
Right, so it's
yeah,
also
it's
very
pretty
high.
high,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
no problem.
Okay, thank you so much for the questions. Can we get one more round of applause to Aruna, please? Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.